Check 1098-765-4321. The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. 150,000 Cebuano Kakampinks attended Vice President Leni Robredo's second grand rally in Mandaue City yesterday. Gerard de la Peña with the report.
Lenisin Youth, maraming salamat.
For the second time, the tandem of Vice President Leni Robredo and Senator Kiko Pangilinan visited Cebu Province, the most vote-rich province in the Philippines. During their first visit, they scoured the southern tip of the province that culminated in a grand rally in Cebu City. Yesterday, they visited the northern side, particularly Bantayan Island, Bogo, and Danao, and of course, held another grand rally, this time in Mandaue City.
Ito po yung gobyerno kung saan kami kailangan pupuntahan namin.
Robredo called her supporters to practice restraint as fellow presidential candidate Isko Moreno bombards her to calls to withdraw from the race.
Kasing nipis pala ng ozone layer ang ego ng mga sad boys na bitter. Hindi na! Wag na tayo mag-away-away. VP Leni, tabuni imong usa ka mata aron one eye lalis daog na ta.
Local police and organizers estimate up to 150,000 attendees went to the sortie. Prominent local politicians such as the Osmeñas and the Davides also graced the event. But ordinary people from different sectors raised the hands of Robredo and Pangilinan, from street sweepers, security guards, PWDs, healthcare workers, among others. Robredo said that she is hopeful for a repeat of her 2016 victory in the province, despite the fact that local political groups are supporting other presidential bets.
Alam nyo ang sinisigaw nyo, walang One Cebu. Siguro walang One Cebu ng mga politiko, pero may One Cebu ng ordinaryong Cebuano. Ngayong gabi, pinapakita natin na ang kapangyarihan nasa kamay natin.
Today, the Vice President's ticket will go to Tondo, Manila, where there will be a prayer vigil as well as a gathering with Muslims in the area. A covenant signing is also expected today with some members of the transportation sector. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
Framer of the 1987 Constitution and election lawyer Christian Monsod says he is not letting go of the disqualification case filed against presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos. Monsod told Radyo 5 that he will file a motion challenging the COMELEC's junking of the disqualification case filed by the group Pudno nga Ilocano. This is despite the lack of time to hear the motion, with the elections just over 2 weeks away. Monsod believes that Marcos is not qualified to lead the country, having failed to pay proper taxes. The lawyer explains that if Marcos wins the election, and if the COMELEC deems him unqualified before his proclamation, the runner-up will become president. Monsod also said that they could resort to filing a quo warranto case before the Supreme Court to question Marcos Jr.'s qualification. And authorities have found online ampunan groups running rampant on social media. The Social Welfare Department is reminding the public that this informal method of adoption is illegal. Mobile journalist Dieda Pascual with the story.
Online selling has become the norm these days, so much so that babies are also now being sold online. After the viral mother who sold her 6-month-old daughter due to isabong addiction, a 1-year-old kid being sold off for 2,500 pesos has been making rounds too. On Facebook, groups with names Online Ampunan are also everywhere. In just one click, members can post the babies they want to sell. Some make deals even before the baby is born. They just post the due date and their contact numbers. The Social Welfare Department warned the public against engaging in such deals.
Online illegal adoption of children, isang uri yan ng child trafficking.
She added that illegal adoption also has implications.
Unang-una, hindi kikilalanin ng batas na siya ay tunay na anak ng inampon dahil nga hindi yan dumaan sa tamang proseso. Gayun din doon sa mga magulang na umampon kung yung biological parents ay gustong bawiin yung kanilang anak.
With this, the DSWD advises the public to go through the legal process of adoption.
May binuo tayong bagong ahensya, yan yung National Authority for Child Care. So kung merong interesado na humalap ng impormasyon hinggil sa legal na adoption, maaari pong makipag-ugnayan dito sa National Authority for Child Care.
The National Police, for its part, is investigating those who are involved in the so-called online ampunan.
Papatrabaho ko ngayon siya sa mga cyber patrollers namin and ask him to monitor and then to engage these people para maanohan natin, mapakuha natin yung mga nagbebenta na yan.
Climate activists say that systemic change is better for the environment than individual lifestyle changes. Last week, the campaign hashtag Let the Earth Breathe trended on social media. This comes on the back of the arrest of climate scientists who protested the urgency and injustice of the climate crisis. Most of the social media posts that bore the hashtag called on people to reduce the use of plastics, save electricity and water, and delete unwanted emails. While there's nothing wrong with doing those, climate activists say we need to do so much more. Greenpeace Philippines says we need comprehensive and inclusive transitions in energy, food, and other sectors to help the environment. The group Youth Advocates for Climate Action Philippines added some countries and corporations must be held to task for destroying the planet. China is currently the world's biggest greenhouse gas emitter. But historically, the United States has contributed more emissions than any other nation in the world. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un exchanged friendly letters with outgoing South Korean President Moon Jae-in, despite rising tensions in the peninsula. Kim thanked Moon for his efforts to improve inter-Korean relations after growing signs of Pyongyang resuming nuclear testing. Moon met Kim 3 times and helped facilitate talks between former U.S. President Donald Trump. But after the nuclear negotiations fell through, Pyongyang labeled Moon as a, quote, meddlesome negotiator. It also blew up a $15 million joint liaison office funded by Seoul and fired an intercontinental ballistic missile just last month. But on Friday, Kim and Moon agreed that inter-Korean ties will develop if both sides make tireless efforts with hope. And as COVID-19 cases soar, Hong Kong and Shanghai are now resorting to traditional Chinese medicine in a bid to stymie the surge. Find out more in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
It's all about balance inside the body. If the flow of qi is imbalanced, insufficient, or interrupted, disease will be resulted. TCM works to reprogram and restore normal functions by freeing up the qi energy. The two most commonly used modalities in traditional Chinese medicines are herbal medicines and acupuncture. There are studies, including randomized controlled trials, confirming the safety and efficacy of some Chinese herbal capsules or granules in treating mild cases of COVID-19 infections. These TCM may be particularly useful in treating mild cases of Omicron infection. Why? Because Omicron infections is basically involving the upper respiratory tract. If we are able to stop the progression of the disease, in particular in old age people, we may prevent them from becoming serious or even death.
In April, we saw that there was something of a backlash in China with some people taking to social media to talk about how traditional Chinese medicines are not authorized by the WHO as treatment for COVID. One of the main criticisms of traditional Chinese medicine as a COVID treatment is that traditional Chinese medicine has typically not undergone the same kind of scrutiny as Western drugs. There haven't been the clinical trials, the widespread trials, big trials that regulators want to see in order to approve a drug. There have been some trials in China, in Pakistan, but they haven't convinced skeptics. It's significant that there is a trial that's taking place in Singapore. The Singapore government had warned people last year that they shouldn't take Lianhua Qingwen, one of the most popular traditional Chinese medicines, because the regulator in Singapore had said that there is no evidence that it works. There is now a trial underway, so we might get some evidence one way or the other soon.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.